The Bruins fall to the Minnesota Wild 3-2 in a pretty crazy game for mid-January. I'm Evan Marinofsky, here with Conor Ryan of Boston Sports Journal. Back again. We're doing videos back again. It's been since like mid-October we did a video next to each other here at the Garden. So nature is together now because
nature is healing. Nature is healing.
Nature is healing because we're back. But at any rate, tough night for the Bruins. Felt like there was a ton of chances, whether it be power play, 5-on-5, wasn't for lack of chances. But the big news tonight was Trent Frederic's hit on Kirill Kaprizov. Kaprizov goes right down the tunnel. Frederic fights twice. Did you think the hit was dirty?
I mean, I think it's more one of those ones where it's just an unfortunate set of circumstances. It kind of reminds me of, I forget the player who hit him, but there's that game, I think, really early in the year with McAvoy where he was in Buffalo and it was really, really late in the game. And he was kind of stumbling. He was in a weird spot and, you know, he got hit into the boards. Looked pretty bad at first. He ended up being fine. Hopefully Kaprizov is fine. Obviously, he's a great player to watch, you know, a great player from Minnesota. So you hope he's back in short order. But that kind of reminded me of that hit, too, where I think it was more just, you know, you watch that in real time. Of course, you watch most hits in slow motion. It looks bad. It looks like, you know, Trent Frederic, you know, started coming a mile away, you know, lined him up for the hit, knows when he's in a vulnerable spot. You watch it in real time how hockey is, you know, that's one of those things where it's just a really unfortunate circumstance where, I mean, he was in a bad spot, falling over, and, you know, Frederic more or less hit him in, you know, kind of the perfect spot where it was going to do a lot of damage to him. So I don't think it was, you know, an intentional thing where he saw him in that spot and was going to, you know, drill him and knock him out of the game. I don't think in a bang-bang split-second play like that, that's going to happen. That being said, it's just an unfortunate circumstance all around where, you know, hopefully Minnesota doesn't lose a star player, but I don't think it was one where it was a dirty hit or something that Frederic was looking to do in that split-second, you know, fashion.
Yeah, I don't think a suspension should be coming from this. I mean, I don't know if they'd hand out a fine for it. I don't know. I mean, the NHL, it's so hard to judge the Department of Player Safety, but this doesn't feel like a finable thing either. Again, at the speed at which a hockey game goes, when a guy's falling down that quickly and you're already zoned in on that hit, it's very hard to then just not hit them. And that was sort of evident. Gets in two fights, beats the heck out of Kulikov. After credit to Kulikov for stepping up. Look, as I think Matt Porter said on Twitter, he looked like the real Slim Shady.
Yes, of course.
Looked like Eminem out there. But then also fights Nick Foligno's brother Marcus after, which is an interesting thing to fight a teammate's brother.
Good player, too. Very good player. Had that key block right at the end of the game, too. So Minnesota, good team. Yes. Which I think is probably what you're going to hit on, the fact that good matchup for the Bruins and came up short once again.
Yes, and that's the thing. This was another game where great matchup, right? This is the Minnesota Wild, in the standings-wise, are pretty much right there with the Bruins. Came in on a 5-game losing streak, and you couldn't get it done, right? Like, there were the chances. There were, you know, Taylor Hall looked great tonight, had the power play goal, also was just kind of all over the ice. Cassie mentioned after the game Craig Smith was someone who kind of got lost in the shuffle, just given where he is in the lineup. In a game like this where there's lots of penalties, hard to fit a guy like that in, but just didn't have it, right? Like, down 3-1, Matt Boldy scores a nice goal for his first career goal. Shout out Matt.
Millis.
Yes, shout out Millis. But another game where they just don't get it done.
Yeah, it's very frustrating where, as much as I think you have a lot of positives you can build off of that 3-game win streak with secondary scoring finally breaking through, all these good things, you still need one of these games over a team like Minnesota where it seems like a good measuring stick. And it's only going to get hotter from here where they're playing, you know, Washington and Tampa Bay on the road. Like, it's only going to be a more uphill battle for this team. So you go play a team in Minnesota, you're able to get at least a point out of the matchup. I'm sure you're feeling pretty good because let's not forget, as much as, you know, the Bruins are missing DeBrusk, Nosek, those guys, Charlie McAvoy in this game, Minnesota was also losing quite a few guys. I mean, Eriksson Ek, I think, wasn't out there. Like, they're missing a lot of key cogs as well. So this seemed like a perfect matchup at home where, again, get at least a point out of it and kind of move forward against a tough matchup against Tampa Bay. Now, I don't want to say you're starting from square one, but you need to start piling, you know, points up against these teams that, if you view yourself as a Stanley Cup contender, or at least a team that's going to make some noise in the playoffs, you need to perform well against these teams that you're probably going to see in a couple of months.
Very true. Very, very true. The Wild and the Bruins always have these interesting, fun games at the Garden. Because back in 2019, it was Krug who scored the OT winner, and they came back from 4-2. Krejci scored 2 goals. Sorry to bring that back up to you guys.
Twisting the knife, Evan.
But at any rate, for a mid-January game, not too bad. Not too bad for a mid-January game. But for all your Bruins content, make sure to follow me over at CLNS, Conor over at BSJ. You, Bruins watchers, have a great rest of your night.